Hello everyone, and welcome to the Trending in My Life podcast, episode 22. This week I'd like to talk about giving, because that topic is very much trending in my life right now. First of all, this week is Thanksgiving week in the US, and I'll also be celebrating it here in the UK. Having celebrated Thanksgiving when I lived in the States, it was a tradition my family has always continued. And what's not to love about a celebration of being thankful? We always sit around a table, eat a meal, and talk about the things we're thankful for in the past year. No matter the ups and downs in a year, if you stop and think about it, you'll find something you're thankful for. At Thanksgiving, we don't give gifts, we give our time. Time spent with family or friends, time to share a meal and talk, time to reflect on all the good stuff in our lives and how far we've come and all that we've achieved. I used to live in one room and now I live in a house. How wonderful is that? It's not mine, it's rented, but I've come a long way. As soon as Thanksgiving is over, it'll be on with thoughts and plans for Christmas. I used to refuse to think about Christmas until after Thanksgiving, but it often feels so rushed to get the gifts all sorted in time if I do this, so I've started doing some online shopping already. There are Christmas displays in all the stores now, trying to help you decide what to buy and to give to the people you give to. Decisions. The pressure of finding a suitable gift weighs heavy on you, especially if you'll be there in person and watch the person unwrap their gift, and you don't want to see disappointment on their face when the last bit of wrapping is torn away and your gift to them is revealed. They say that you give the gifts you'd like to receive yourself. It was a number of years ago when I read that, and if you've not heard it before, think about it for a moment. What struck me is it's very true and completely unintentional, but somehow you can't help being drawn towards items you like in a store, or even when you're scrolling pages of gifts online. In that respect, I start with some basics I know about that person when thinking of the category of gift. Something like favourite colour, or if you don't know that, their hobby, their pastime. How do they like to spend their weekends? How do they like to spend their free time? You may not know or don't want to ask these things, in which case simply ask yourself, whilst looking at the gift, would they like it? When could they use it? Would it be useful or fun in their lives? And would they think it was fun? It's worth considering this point, and you might find yourself saying, no, not for them, and wandering a store or scrolling online, lost for ideas. Imagine you live their life and what their routines are, and as you're looking, then hopefully something will come into view that you feel they'd like. When you've done this, whether they like it or not, your conscience is clear that you put in the effort and tried your best, giving it a go. Of course, your own life may be so busy over the festive season that you simply don't have the time to do that. It's okay, because you can only do what you can do, and these days there are gift receipts with purchases, so that they can be exchanged if the person receiving them really feels the need to do that. I don't like giving gift vouchers personally, as opposed to a gift that I've been and picked myself. But I do on occasion when I feel the person would appreciate being able to choose their own gift, especially when the voucher relates to a store they regularly buy from because they collect certain things. When you're buying for an adult, that can sometimes be the case. In my head, it feels like less of a gift, but then I ask myself, but what would they want? And I buy the voucher. I guess some people just go online, buy a bunch of vouchers and email them out, and for them, that's their Christmas shopping done. If I'm describing you, I really hope you get to experience picking out a gift for at least one person in your life. I say that because when you choose a gift for someone, that experience is a wonderful one for you. You automatically imagine them opening the gift, playing with it, wearing it, using it in some way. You play this happy scenario in your mind during the buying process, and your reward is those happy feelings you get when thinking about it. If you're actually present when the person opens the gift, you can watch their excitement as they tear off the paper and the pleasure in their smile when they see what's inside. Perhaps you'll buy a joke gift, knowing that the person will get it and laugh when they open it. Once more, make sure you think yourself into their shoes and whether they would definitely laugh and see the funny side. It could be that you also have a real gift you're going to give them after it, just in case the joke falls flat and they look disappointed. Talking of disappointments, inevitably there will be some for you when you thought you'd found the perfect gift, and then the reaction of the person opening it seems less than expected. As a general rule, if you're in a long-term relationship, don't give a gift in a small square jeweller's box that isn't a ring. There's many a disappointed face when they open the lid to find earrings or cufflinks when their heart had been beating fast and their mind had whirled into, oh my God, it's a proposal ring. That's clearly a roller coaster of expectation high and disappointment low that you don't want to unintentionally give someone. As a kid, well, say 10 years old maybe, my nan, that's my grandma, would go to the local street market and buy gifts. She didn't live nearby, so she never saw me open these gifts, but they were almost 100% guaranteed to disappoint. So as a kid, I kind of knew what to expect. She would send me petticoats. That's like a slip to go under a dress. I was at an age I never wore dresses, and static cling of fabric, which is why you would wear a petticoat, well, let's say this was not a topic that took up a lot of space in my thoughts. Now, a lot of years later, as an adult, I realised my nan was shopping at the local market because she was making her pension stretch to pay for gifts for all her grandkids, because there were 8 of us altogether, and that it was the best she could do. Also, bearing in mind she wore petticoats under all her dresses to stop them clinging, she bought a gift she would have liked to receive herself. Something practical that could be used over and over again. As an adult, I appreciated the thought and effort she went to. There is a reason why woolly hats, scarves, gloves and socks became a regular fallback gift for gift givers. You know it's not exciting. It won't get the oohs and ahs on the big day, but at a time of year when many countries have cold weather, they will get use and be appreciated in the following months. I think it's difficult at any age to contain your expectations. You may have been asked what you want, but then the giver may have had unexpected expenses and had to give you something else instead. You don't know this, so your expectation level is higher. Try and remember the time you share with people is something you'll always remember, whereas the gift will have a limited lifespan. One year, when I was around 15, an aunt and uncle sent me a pearl necklace in a jewellery box. It wasn't real pearls, but it was the most grown-up gift I had ever received. I put this down to them having no daughters but 3 sons, all in their 20s, so they didn't really have a grasp of what 15-year-old girls were into. But they did good. I kept that necklace for many, many years, eventually wearing it with work outfits at my very first job. So sometimes those surprising gifts from relatives you rarely see can have great meaning. At one time it was trending to give experience gifts, where you pay for a voucher, email it to the person, and they can contact the people providing the gift and choose the date that's convenient for them. These tend to be at a higher price level and are useful if you can afford to gift it and know the person's interests. Things like flying in a glider, driving a fancy car on a racetrack, skydiving, or spa days. Just be sure it's not something that's way outside their comfort zone, or they may never actually use it. I would hope that they would appreciate your effort in choosing it though. There are people that from childhood into adulthood want to know what they're getting. They're the kids who search the house the week before Christmas, looking for hidden gifts and tearing the corners on wrapping to see what's inside. They grow into adults who tell you what to get them and nag to be told what you've bought until eventually you give in. They are most likely to be happy with their gifts, but lack the experience of opening that random surprise that may have been the best gift of all. I'm the love a surprise type. I will always provide details of things I want or need if asked, but also, for me, Christmas wouldn't be Christmas without a surprise or two in the unwrapping. Life is unpredictable, and I like to feel we can't control everything, and perfection would be boring. So I like my seasonal celebrations to be like that. As people, I think we're more rounded if we expect less and give more. Then if things don't go to plan, we cope with it better. One aspect of gift giving is building the suspense. Maybe giving a partner 1 or 2 clues in the weeks before, but vague, because you wouldn't want to spoil the surprise, or worse still, have them guess. You'd really be put on the spot if they guess right, and you have to insist they're wrong, whilst you try and let your facial expression not give you away. There's the thing where you put a small box in a bigger box, and a bigger one, and a bigger one, or wrap a number of layers on a gift so that the shape and size of the gift is hidden. Just make sure that after all the unwrapping, what the final gift is one you know they will love. It's getting the amount of layers right. If the person doing the opening is groaning and seriously getting bored with the whole unwrapping process, maybe rethink it next year and do a bit less. Lots of tape to fasten a gift in its wrapping can be frustrating for the unwrapper when they have to stop to find scissors to get into it. I remember one year when they first introduced foil wrapping paper. It was the big thing, shiny with pretty colours, but unfortunately it was almost impossible to tear, which really spoilt the unwrapping experience. Over the years, I think the manufacturers have caught on and have got better at realising that tearing the wrapping paper is an essential element. Whether to personally wrap a gift or just have it done in the store for you, or online select the gift wrapped option, is up to you. Within that wrapping process, you will need to decide if you want to tie ribbon around the gift or put a bow on it. I'm a person that does this occasionally rather than all the time. If I'm buying online, I would rather spend the gift wrap option money on the gift itself, increasing the budget for the gift. For close family, I will enjoy choosing wrapping paper that suits them, fun characters or their favourite colour. Then with the bows, it will depend if I happen to see one for sale that catches my eye, rather than a bag of them. I think that's an aspect of gift giving that's very individual to the giver, and I think there's no right or wrong way here. You can wrap a gift any way that you choose. Often people will wrap a cylinder shape up as a cracker with tied ends. Christmas crackers are a tradition in the UK to have with Christmas dinner, with a paper hat, a joke and a novelty inside. The novelty can be anything like a plastic frog that jumps if you press it, or a metal bottle opener, or a million things in between. No one expects the novelty to be anything fabulous because it's all about sharing the bang experience with the person you pull the cracker with. Around a table, there are always some people who don't want to put on the paper hat because they feel they'll look silly or it will spoil their cool hair, and others who will wear it just because they feel it's all part of the Christmas traditions, and they don't care how they look. Neither is right or wrong, and I feel it's better to just let people do what they're comfortable with. Sometimes they'll change their mind halfway through or by dessert and be putting on the hat or taking it off. Giving your time to be there at a table, eating with others and sharing the experience is good for the soul. You may not want to travel home, and it might be a long distance in bad weather, but sometimes that effort is what means the most to parents and grandparents, aunts and uncles who haven't seen you in a while. They're bound to do something to make you smile or laugh whilst you're there and make a happy memory for you. Your being there will be the best gift you could have given them. Yes, they may ask some of those questions you didn't want them to ask, like, when are you going to get settled down? When are you going to find a real job? Which means you feel uncomfortable, but it's a blip in all the hours you're there, so give them a free pass in your head and let it go. Move on, talk about happier things, tell a funny story that happened to you, compliment the cooking or the decorations, talk about the snow if there is any. For some, gift giving happens in the morning, after lunch, or in the evening. Over the past couple of years, we've discovered in our family we like to spread it out over the course of the day. Opening a couple of gifts with breakfast, the same around 11 and 3 p.m, then in the evening after dinner. We like it because it's not all over and done with in one go. And for me, I get the pleasure of tearing off the wrapping paper what feels like all day long, adding to the Christmas experience. I hope you enjoy the gift getting experience. I know some people will be busy with work and think it's a real pain to have to choose gifts when they just don't have the time. But try and remember you're trying to give the recipient a little dose of happy. You're showing you care about each person you give a gift to and want to remind them that they are important in your life. You decide if that's worth more than 5 minutes of your time. It should warm your heart to buy gifts for others, to be part of sharing in the experience. Yes, it's all very commercial now, and we have weeks and weeks to lead up till the day, but don't let that stop you taking part. Giving a gift is special. You thought about that person, you selected something you hope they would like, and you gave or sent it so that they'd have the pleasure of opening it. You're a good person to take the time to do this, and you have the knowledge that you're a good person as your reward. Whether they appreciate it as much as you'd hoped is on them. You did your part, and as I've said before, sometimes the appreciation comes later when they came to use the gift, which is especially true with practical gifts. Thank you for listening to this podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend, and come back next time. And if you'd like to, comment what's the best gift you've received as a child. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.